really loving this look. I am loving this look. I'm a gypsy. Are you coming with me? I'm down na 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 na. If you fix me. I don't know the words. That's Shakira, by the way. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing great. I hope you are doing amazing. I am doing great. Thanks for asking. First of all, let me thank the new subscribers. We see the community growing. I am so happy and I'm grateful that you have joined Boo Boo's Boulevard. If you're new here, my name is Abby Green, popularly known as Boo Boo from Boo Boo's Boulevard, and on this platform we help parents and individuals at large find balance in life through productivity tips, intentional living, working smart, and living happy. I am a mom of 4 living in Grenada, and I also share the mom life in the Caribbean. So if you are interested in this kind of things, press the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post my videos, okay? So I've been doing this series about the Caribbean because I always get questions, so I said I was going to sort it out in series, and today's video is about my culture shock in Grenada. Let's face it, everybody gets a culture shock. I got a culture shock when I went to Saudi Arabia and I saw a man kissing a man on the cheek, and I found out that that is a form of greeting. I got a culture shock also in Saudi Arabia where the ladies were all supposed to cover up from head to toe. I read it on blogs, I read it on the internet, but when I saw it live face to face, I was shocked. Like, is this my life? Anyway, I'll give you another story about my Saudi life, but today it's about Grenada, the culture shock that I had in Grenada. First of all, let me do a little bit of history here. I think I need some water. I think I need some water. But let me do a little bit of history here. I am a Nigerian. I was born and bred in Nigeria, but when I started my family, we started in Saudi Arabia. So you know that I'm going to come out from the perspective of an African and also a Middle Eastern, an Arab, whatever you call it. And you know that Africans are relatively conservative. Also in Saudi Arabia, they are ultra, that's the word, ultra conservative. Now you understand my perspective when I share my culture shock. I am not saying that it's bad. It's not even bad. Okay, I confess, none of them is bad. Everything is good, and to me, I'm just shocked. Like I said, culture shock. So let's go right into the video. There is this thing that I noticed, and I don't know if it's out of superstition or it's just upbringing, where you're planning to have a meeting with somebody, or you guys are just explaining things and you say, okay, at so time we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That planning, some Grenadians actually don't take those kind of words for granted. So they say, please the Lord, at the end of every sentence. Some in between sentences they say it, please the Lord. So I in my head I had to interpret it as by the grace of God, like we say in Nigeria, or God willing. I heard the Americans say knock on wood. I don't know how that translates. I don't know if you know. Please say it in the comment section. I know they're coming from the perspective that nobody is promised tomorrow. So when you're making plans, they say please the Lord. Let me give you a perfect example. I had a hair appointment. I was telling the lady, please, I would like to do some things to my hair, extension, braid my hair and everything. And she said, okay, let's see, how about Monday, please the Lord. Monday 10 o'clock, please the Lord. And when you're coming, come with your hair extension, please the Lord. Well, if you come earlier, we will do the retouching too, please the Lord. And she was like, she was saying it so fast. It was in a voice note. She was saying it so fast, please the Lord. And that was the first time I was hearing it. I was like, what is she saying? What's she saying? Until I sat down and I listened to it again. I said, okay, this is what she meant. So you most likely would hear that. So don't freak out whenever you hear that. They're just trying to say by the grace of God. When I came to Grenada, I found out that family is very important to them, but marriage is not the end goal in raising a family compared to we Africans. You know, back in Africa, if you have a living lover or you just have a partner that you guys are not married, it's actually frowned upon. In Saudi Arabia, that is the no-go area. It's actually a taboo. But here, you could come, you would see people who are raising great families, like sweet families, but they're actually not married and they are okay, they are happy, they love that kind of relationship. It doesn't matter the age of the adults. It could be as young as the 20s, it could be as old as the 60s. They can comfortably say, my boyfriend did this, my girlfriend, my partner, my man, my woman. They are not necessarily married. You have married couples, of course you do have married couples here, but comparing it to Nigeria or comparing it to African countries, you know that it's not the end goal. And I see it because you have a lot of Western influence here. The Western culture also doesn't see marriage as the end goal. You could have two living lovers, it's not a problem at all. So that influence is also here. So don't be surprised when you see a grandma in her 60s or 50s telling you, oh, my boyfriend is coming to pick me. It's not a bizarre thing. Don't look at them awkward. It's just a normal way of living. Picture Oprah and Stedman. It's just a partnership. They're raising a family, a healthy family at that, but marriage is not the end goal. Okay, I noticed this when I was in the hospital, and I will be saying things like, oh, my husband is supposed to come here, my husband this, my husband that, and all that. And I knew that the term they always used often were my man, my partner, my boyfriend. That was all I was hearing. So I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. So sometimes some gatherings, I could just say my partner, my man, just so I don't stick out like that. But it's not like it's a taboo for you to say you're married. Everybody is calling their boyfriend proudly. You can call your husband proudly. But what I'm trying to say is that don't be surprised when you see a family saying they're boyfriend and girlfriend. So there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, shock is the fact that you have to drive on the left side of the road and the steering wheel is on the right side. It was so confusing for me the first few weeks that I was trying to drive here. Sometimes I'll go to the passenger seat thinking that I was driving in the way that Nigerians and Saudi Arabians would drive. I wasn't driving in Saudi Arabia, by the way. At the time I was there, women were not allowed to drive, but now they drive. So now in Grenada, the steering wheel is on the right. So when you are driving, you drive on the left side of the road, which is the same thing like in the UK. Right now, I'm even wondering how I'm going to cope when I go to a country that has a steering wheel on the left side again, because I know it's gonna work with my mind. Example, in the US, they drive just like the cars in Nigeria. So it's always a mind battle, but it's a plus because you drive on the left side of the road, you drive on the right side of the road. Lewis Hamilton got nothing on you. Okay, I was joking, Lewis. I was joking. I'm not too sure about this one, so don't take my word for it, but this is kind of relative. In Nigeria, to be specific, and I think in Africa, when you give birth to a baby, there's just an influx of visitors that would come and give your baby gifts and all that. You know how it goes. But when I came to Grenada, I gave birth to Malachi like 3 years ago. 3 years ago, yes. And Camilla that I gave birth to this year. I found out that my Grenadian people were not coming to visit. I had visitors from Nigeria. The Nigerian community, of course, they were coming to visit, but the Grenadians weren't visiting. And I was wondering, what's going on? What's going on? And one of them told me that, I know you're shocked that we didn't come to visit, but normally it's not really our thing. We'd rather you stay and rest with your baby, which is such a good point. Rest with your baby until whenever you're ready to see us, then you see us. And which is a very, very good point, because I always craved to rest after giving birth. Every mom craves to rest after giving birth, but you're always faced with, oh, get ready, there's this visitor coming, get ready, which is not a bad thing either, because you're always welcome to give gifts and all that. But I think Grenadians are, according to this person, that Grenadians are more understanding about the fact that you need sleep and rest and all that, so they do this visit way after. But I had other visitors like from Nigeria, then the Middle Easterns here, the Muslims here, they could visit. So I don't know if this is actually for Grenadians, but this is what I noticed. Okay, going Dutch. Normally, if it's a house party where you come and just gather with your friends, I don't think you'd go Dutch. That is splitting the bills equally, 70 30, 40 60, whatever the plan was in the first place. But if you're going to a restaurant, a fine restaurant at that, best believe me, you most likely will pay for your own stuff. Even if they invited you for a birthday party and you go to a fine restaurant, you most likely will pay. They would bring some hors d'oeuvres probably, just to share and all that, but for the main meal you most likely will pay for that. A bar, a restaurant, it depends. It could be a co-worker inviting you over, so always know the situation before you step out. And to be very safe, you should have your own money so that you pay in that kind of situation. Do not go ordering something that you cannot afford at the time, because in Nigeria, somebody's calling you for a party, whether you've been invited or not, you just show up. Oh, it's my friend's friend, it's my cousin's sister's husband's daughter's birthday, and we're showing up. It's my dog's naming ceremony and we are showing up. In Nigeria, that's how we roll, you know. We are the life of the party. But when you go somewhere else, you should mind the parties you go. You should actually go if you're invited. You just don't show up, because these people are strict on planning, on what they are supposed to do. And if you have to go, have the money in your pocket. My people call it vex money. Have your vex money, okay? I don't know about dates. I'm not dating anymore. I am fully married with 4 kids. So I don't know about dating, but probably if you're going on a date too, I think you should have your vex money. Say it with me, vex money. Good job. Another interesting one. You greet good morning in the morning, right? You say good afternoon, good day in the afternoon, right? You say good evening in the evening, right? Well, in Grenada, I found out that you say good night in the late evenings. It's like, help me understand this. And coming from Africa, coming from Nigeria, you know, you say good night when you are done with speaking with the person. You say good evening first, you talk to the person and everything, and say good night, kind of a dismissal. Is it a dismissal? Kind of saying goodbye. But when I came here, good night is the first greeting you greet when you see someone late in the evening. So I was like, okay, we can get used to this somehow. I really don't know the logic behind it. Please, if you know the logic behind it, please write it in the comment section. We are always open to learn. Ever wondered why the Grenadian women are looking young and sweet, and no matter what their age is? I think it's their mindset. Let me tell you here, grandmas in Grenada, I think in the Caribbean generally, are always popping. I'm telling you, when you attend the carnival, you're going to see grandmas dressed with good bodies, great bodies. I don't know. I think it's their food, the water, the sea salt, I guess. Is it oiled down? You guys tell me. Because it's amazing. Like, you see them, they're never their age. You ask somebody, oh, and she's just chatting with you, chatting so freely with you, and you ask her, she say, well, I have, my granddaughter is just 12 years old, and my children, I have 4. One is 40, one is 33, one is, and I'm like, who are you? What do you eat? It's so crazy. They look young. Even when they're in their 50s, 60s, they look young. They have the mindset they are young and free. And you know how we are back in Africa, especially in Nigeria, although things are beginning to change now. In Nigeria, when you hit the 40 mark, it's more like, oh my goodness, woe is me, I'm getting old, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like that for Nigerians. Like, and all of a sudden we want this respect. No, you have to call me ma. No, you have to call me ma. Am I your mate? Who do you think you're talking to? Just because you turned 40. 40 that people have been turning since. Just because you turned 40. No, he was disrespectful. Is that how you address me? Call me ma. They don't do that here. You would see a 60-year-old person and you're addressing the person by their first name. The respect you're asking for is not even in the titles. The respect comes from the tone of your conversations. So get that, write that down. That's an aha moment there. Tone of your conversation is where you find the respect, not the title. So you can talk to a 60-year-old person. Maybe you're in your 20s and you're talking to a 60-year-old person, and to me, yes, to show respect, you could say ma'am or Mr. or Miss, to show respect. That's it. But they don't even mind if you actually call them by their first name. I just call them Miss, Mr. It's not a rule. It's not a law here. People can actually communicate freely with their younger ones without feeling disrespected just because nobody called ma in front of their first name. You would think that when you come to the Caribbean, all you're going to see are naked people. Wrong. That's not true. People here dress decently. Yes, compared to Africa, that it's kind of conservative. Yeah, there's more skin here. But and also in Saudi Arabia, where you have to cover everything, that one you can't even compare. But here, there's still decent dressing. There are even places, public places would say, make sure you dress decently before coming to such a public place. But damn, when it comes to the beaches, whoo, maybe a pool party or a wild party, you would see skin. Like, they kind of go bare. No, not bare skin per se, but they are scantily dressed. Like, everything could go loose by the pull of a string, and I mean that literally, pun intended. Just drag the string and everything's hallelujah, you know. And that is their own way. Like, when they're doing their jab and everything, it's all skin. It's all skin. It's just very few pieces of cloth covering some specific places and being held together by the grace of God. So that's just it. So when you come to the Caribbean and you're thinking you're going to see naked people walking on the road, no, that's not going to happen. But if that is your purpose of coming to the Caribbean, then go to the wild parties and go to the beach. Then your eyes will pop. Pronunciation. Okay, let me get you ready. I told you Grenadians are eloquent. They speak English and all that. They had the influence of the British and the French and the Spanish, everybody here that passed through this island, you know, so they are fluent in English. But when you come here first, especially if you meet somebody who is from the countryside that is working maybe in town, you'll be shocked. You'll be looking at them, gazing like a deer in the headlights, like, what is she saying? What is he saying? Because of their pronunciation. They have this strong accent, especially when they're coming from the countryside. And a typical example was this one. When I came, I landed at Maurice Bishop International Airport. It was my first day in Grenada. In fact, it was night in Grenada. And I was like, okay, I can't wait to see my husband. My husband was outside waiting for me. As I met a security woman and I said, my husband is outside waiting, because we had we came out around 9 p.m. or something. So I said, my husband is outside waiting. He's anxious. I need to speak with him and all that we are at the customs trying to get in. And she said, oh, where is he? What's his name? For privacy's sake, let's assume his name was Baba. So I said, his name is Baba. Please help me reach him. He's just outside there waiting. Then the lady said, is he down there? I said, his name is Baba. Is he down there? I was thinking she meant his name is down there. I said, his name is Baba. I said, is he down there? I said, his name is, so I think she pointed, when she pointed, is he down there? I said, oh, he's down. Yes, he's outside. I felt so stupid after that. I was like, oh my goodness, not the first blunder in Grenada. So so you're most likely to meet people like that, that when they're talking, you're like, what are you saying? What are you saying? And I'm sure they could get confused too whenever we go into our concentrated Nigerian accent. Or especially when we put it with pidgin. But don't be fooled. These people watch a lot of Nigerian movies. They know people like Tonto DK. They know people like Mercy Johnson, Omotola, Genevieve. They tell it just the way we have a crave for Korean movies and Indian movies. That's how they have a crave for Nollywood. So that's it. That was my experience. It was quite an interesting one. Right, that's the end of this interesting video. I really had fun recording it, and I hope you had fun just watching it. Okay, so there's, like I said, there's no place where you don't have culture shock, and I know that probably if I go to the UK, that's how I'll be like. I used to tell people, if you have the opportunity to travel and learn their cultures, because I'm not talking about 2 days travel, you just enter somewhere and go out, or go to all spots and go out. I mean, go and study things, go and mingle with the locals. I know people like to go to Maldives. It's my dream destination, but I know when I go to Maldives, I'm not just going to stay in the apartment and just look at the sea and all that. I would go and mix up with the locals. So that is how you learn. Education is not always formal. Informal kind of education is about you backpacking and globetrotting if your pocket permits. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Please feel free to go to the other videos and watch if you want to know more about Grenada, if you want to know more about the island lifestyle. But don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. I entertained you now. Subscribe. Press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post my videos. Okay? From me to you, it's XOXO. Bye-bye. Going globetrotting if you're perfect. And going globetrotting if you're perfect. And globetrotting if your pocket permits.